Hello everyone, welcome to today's data visualization class. In this tutorial video, we are going to learn how to create a radar chart by using Python. Okay, first of all, I want to share you a very interesting example. So let's say we want to visualize Wonder Woman's skill set. We know that Wonder Woman is one of the best superheroes in DC Comics, right? So that is why we need to use radar chart to describe her skills. Okay, so let's say we have a Wonder Woman and her superpowers include power, speed, strength, intelligence, and flight. And each superpower has its certain numeric value to describe the level of that superpower. Okay, so now we want to map this Wonder Woman's data into the radar chart. Okay, so now I want to share with you some most important steps to achieve this goal. Okay, so let's go back to the next slide. First of all, I want to share with you, if you want to create a radar chart, the first step, you need to have the foundation of this radar chart, right? We need a circle. Okay, now after we have the circle, we need to split the data, split the circle into 5 different branches because each branch represent Wonder Woman's superpower, like the power, strength, intelligence, etc. So we want to have this branch evenly distributed. So the first most important step is to set up the radar chart and then divide the circle into 5 branches, and they are evenly distributed so that we can set up the all the different superpowers within this radar session. Okay, after that, we're gonna set up the skill, right? We know that for Wonder Woman, each superpower has a skill. So like this one, the power equals to 90. And then we're gonna set up the skill from 0 to 100, right? Because this is the range that all the numeric value should go within. Okay, so let's say the speed is 80, then 80 should be in this position, right? So we have to set up the skill so that in the future, we're gonna map the data into this radar chart. Okay, next step is to add the data to the radar chart. Once you have the radar chart foundation, you set up the branches, you set up the skills, you want to add your data. So here I want to share with you the most important concept. When you draw the radar, let's say we start with power. Okay, this is our first element in the sequence. Power, speed, all the way to flight, right? So power, speed, strength, intelligence, flight, and then we're gonna close that to power. So this is how we draw this radar map. We start with the power, go to the speed, go to the strength, go to the intelligence, go to the flight, and then we're gonna go back to power. So that is how you add the data to this foundation. So we start with 90 and close with 90. We know that originally the sequence start with 90 and with 75, but when we really draw the data into the radar chart, we're gonna add another value, 90, to sum or to close the gap of this radar chart. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And then we're gonna go back to the Python Colab notebook to exercise that. And in the process, we're gonna show you how to do this and how to, define the sequence and close the gap between all of these radar map. Okay, so let me stop share these slides and go back to the Colab. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna import some libraries. We're gonna import pandas. We're gonna import NumPy and Matplotlib. Okay, first of all, we're gonna define the circle because we need the circle and that is our foundation. So this is radar chart foundation. Okay, So we're going to define a variable called circle, and the circle equal to, we know that the circle should be, we know that this variable circle should be a circle, and then we're going to split that into 5 different branches. So how do we do that? Actually, in Python, we have a function that helps us to do the evenly splitting, and that is numpy.linspace. Okay, so here the start is 0. We know that 2 pi represent a circle, right? So that is why we need 2 times numpy.pi. So this is a whole circle. And then we're going to split the circle into 5 different branches, right? So we're going to say that is 5. And then we're going to set up the end point equal to false. Okay. And then after that, after this numpy linspace, I think it would be a array, numpy array data type. And then we're going to transform that to list. Okay, so let's take a look at what is circle. Okay, circle is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different numbers, and these 5 different numbers will further show the branches in the entire circle. Okay, now next I want to create a new sequence, and this sequence help us to close the gap, or to close the gap, to link every line to close the gap. So we're gonna link the line to close the circle. This is for we map the data in the radar chart. So how do we do that? In order to do so, we're gonna define closed circle. This is a variable, and we're gonna need the original circle. So this is original data points that do the splitting. And then if we're gonna close circle, we're gonna add more value at the end of the sequence, that is 0.0, to close the gap. So we're gonna copy this variable and do the copy, because this is just exactly the same with circle. But now, in order to close the circle, we need the closed circle to append a new number that is 0.0. So that is how we start, right? And then we're gonna take a look at the closed circle. Okay, the closed circle is nothing but add 0.0 at the end of the original sequence, because this is how we close the gap, close the circle, right? So we're going to use that in the future. And now, after we have this foundation, we're going to define the Wonder Woman's skill set. Okay, so we're going to define Wonder Woman's skill set. Okay, so let's say we have attributes. Attributes is a list, and that include power. Okay, we have 5 different superpower: speed, and then what is the next? Strength and intelligence. And next one's flight. Okay, so this is attributes, and for every element in this attributes, it has certain numeric values. So we're gonna define values, and this values is just a corresponding number. So power equal to 90, and then speed 80, strength 75, intelligence 90, and 75. Okay, So that is attribute and value. Remember that we use the value to close the gap, right? So we do the same, exactly like the previous one. We're going to define a new sequence that help to close the circle or close the gap, right? So this would be closed value. So the previous one is a closed circle, right? And this one is a closed value. It is, let's just copy this, paste in here, but at the end of this sequence, we're gonna type 90, right? Because we start with 90 and then go back to 90 so that we have an entire circle, and that is a closed circle. So let's run this cell. Okay, and then I think that is all the information we need to create the radar chart. And next, we're going to just visualize everything. So first of all, we're going to initialize the radar chart. Okay, radar chart. And how do we do that? We're going to define a variable called x, and x equal to plot dot subplot. This is a function, and this function helps us cite the foundation of the radar chart. And then inside of that, we're gonna type polar equal to true. Plot.show. So let me show that for you. What would happen? Okay, so this is how we set up the radar chart. This is just a plain single radar chart foundation, and in the future we're gonna set up the branches and reset the scales. Okay, so this is just a very basic, this first step. Next step is we're gonna draw or adjust the x ticks. So this is how we add the branches to this circle. Okay, so let me show you how do we do that. And we're going to use plot, plot dot x ticks, and then we're going to pass a circle. Remember that the circle we define here, this is for the radar chart foundation, right? And this circle includes 5 numbers that split the entire circle into 5 branches, and they are evenly distributed. So we're going to pass the circle here, and we're going to tell Python, okay, forget about this original one. We're going to use our customized one. And then we're going to pass the attributes, because these attributes is also Wonder Woman's superpower's name, right? So we're going to pass that to here. So let's see what happens right now. Okay, perfect. So original one is gone, and now it's replaced with power, speed, strength, intelligence, and flight. Okay, so that is perfect. And then we're gonna set up the scales, right? Because you can see that the original scale is from 0 to 1, but now we're gonna set up the scale to 0 to 100, because every superpower's value is in that range. Okay, so how do we do that? And we're gonna do this. We're gonna adjust the y ticks, and this is for scale. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna use x dot set r label position, and we're gonna use that to 0. So what we do here is we're gonna tell Python, okay, the scale start from 0, and we're gonna use plot dot y ticks, and we're gonna manually tell Python how to set up the scale. Okay, here you can see that from 0 to 100, and we're gonna do this. This is 20, this is 40, this is 60, and this is 80, and this is 100, right? So in order to update the original one, we're going to create a list. And in this list, we're going to start with 20. 20 should be in here, this first circle. And then the second circle represents 40. So 40, and then 60, 80, 100. Okay. And this is just a value. This is a true value, numeric value. But then we also need to show this value in the radar chart. And once we show those values in the radar chart, the data type should be the text format. So correspondingly, the true value, the ground truth value would be mapped to the text format. So we're going to use 20, 40, and 60. So this is just names, okay? Not just a true value. This is name that's going to show up in the radar, okay? And then we're going to use plt dot ylim, and this is going to set up the entire scale, so from 0 to 100. Okay, so this is how we set up the scale, and this is how we set up the branches. So let's say what happened. Okay, perfect. This is how we set up the Wonder Woman's skill set and the range of each superpower. Okay, all of these attributes are correct from power to speed, and then value scale is from 0 to 100, and we're going to put 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 in here. Okay, and now we set up everything for the foundation, and then in this foundation we're going to just add the data about the Wonder Woman. So this step is really easy. We can simply put ax.plot, and inside the plot we're gonna, okay, this is the most interesting one. So when we add the data, remember that in the previous slides I show you, if I draw this radar, I'm gonna start with power and then close with power, right? So inside of the plot, the argument I'm going to use first is this is closed circle, because we're going to use this closed circle to close the circle, right? And then I'm going to use the closed value to, set up the value and close the circle, close the gap. Okay, so here we're going to use a closed circle, close the value, right? And then this, I think that's it. Let's show what happened. Right? So this is how we do that. We did it. So we start with power, and then we're gonna draw a line and close that with power. Okay? And if you want to draw some colors, you're gonna do this way. You're gonna do X. You're going to type fill function, and in the fill function, we're going to copy everything in the previous one. Close value, close circle, close value, and then I'm going to set alpha. This is how we set up the transparency of the color. So let's say 0.3, and then let's see what happened. So basically, this fill function gonna fill some colors inside of this area under the curve. Okay, now I think it's better, right? So this is how we create the radar chart to show the Wonder Woman skill set. And the logic is we're gonna close the gap and then set up the foundation. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next one.